Hello. Welcome. Okay. Curly Q mustache on point. Got the sunnies. It's a beautiful overcast day here on my last day in TJ. And we're going to talk about my experience being a boy in Epstein's little circle of friends. Or excuse me, our friend Jeffrey, as I'm going to refer him as. And I'm just only mentioning him directly because it's easy for people to recognize and it's very in the media. But excuse me. And I'm going to be burping a lot because my body is releasing a whole bunch of this whole trauma and storyline and whatever. I honestly still don't really have the full picture of what's been going on and what's happened to me, but I'm here to go ahead and I'm here to just explain my experience. You guys ever just have a night where you've drank too much or you're crossfaded and all of a sudden you don't quite remember what happened, but in your heart something happened, but then at the same time too you're not sure what. And then you just kind of have a mishmash of memories because it's your couple year era where you're kind of doing that sort of thing. Imagine that's your life, but you're not doing those things. That's kind of how it's been. It's where do I even begin, I used to be a very I'm a man of science, I don't believe in the supernatural and blah blah blah. And I don't know, I've kind of believed in the supernatural for a while, but the reason I bring it up is a lot of people really discredit people when they bring up ritualistic occult stuff when it comes to this whole trafficking ring stuff. And the thing is that I was one of those people. I'm dude, that shit don't fly with me. Oh my god, why are you gonna bring that up, But then suddenly you go ahead and get to my age, which who the hell knows how old I am. We're talking that level of you know what I'm saying? That's the level of I don't know where they got me from, I don't know where I was born. But what I do know is they used to make videos in Aberdeen, Idaho. So I lived in Aberdeen, Idaho as a kid. And I remember kind of just spawning there. My first memories were there. And you would think you don't really remember much when you're younger. But it's I spawned there when I was 2 or 3. I legit don't really remember much before that, and I honestly probably was even older than that too, who knows. And so I remember once I was older, man, it was just in a rural community of only 2,000 people, there was so much unexpected banging from the start of my life. Everybody was smashing each other, and adults and children alike. And I'm just it's no wonder I don't remember crap from there because damn, who would want to, you know what I'm saying? And it took me until my adulthood to really realize oh wait, I think I might have been involved with this whole Jeffrey stuff. It would explain why I used to travel so much and be taken everywhere as a kid, and why I don't remember a lot of the stuff that went on there. I'll start with a vivid memory though that I do remember, which is I remember a memory from when I was taken again to that Wallace Drug in Aberdeen, Idaho. There's an attic, and note Wallace Drug is only one of a few different types of nodes. This kind of happens everywhere it's set up to happen, and then once it's found out, or once someone has an idea, then it's okay, we gotta change locations. But that location, I remember being taken there with a group of my cousins, neighbors, just general people I knew, people from the church. And I remember walking up the stairs and being what the fuck is going on? And I was just looking around. I open a trunk and there's a carcass in there, a human one, mind you. I immediately shut it, feeling a whole sense of dread. There's a spin wheel with a animal carcass, kind of like a cow's head sort of situation, but it's the bones were already bleached, and like there was another carcass underneath it, so it's like I'm not even sure what it really was. And there were cameras everywhere, kind of like the old VHS style, because it was the early 2000s, late 90s situation. And like there was a white tarp on the floor underneath like a circular window with like a whole bunch of like candles and random weird shit and people wearing masks and like adults going on. My body's burping because it's like, damn dude, yeah, that was the thing. And essentially, like, I remember a group of us going there, and then like Mr. Benson, our neighbor, he was like telling his child, he's like, go to the middle, and like he had his child get naked and bend over in front of the cameras. Yeah, man, I should really like okay, wait, hold on. How do I say this with the algorithm, dude? Like, I don't even know. We're gonna, instead of child, I'm gonna say lad. That probably is gonna be the best way. It's like, how do I even tell this with giving euphemisms? Is you just kind of have to like get it straight, and hopefully like the algorithm pushes it. But like, he had his lad go ahead and prepare himself in the middle of there, and no, homie was almost assuredly like not in the right consciousness. Like, he was given something for sure. And so then I go ahead and show up with my cousins, and I'm kind of the oldest, the tallest, the biggest, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'll give you $10 if you go and perform the act on him over there. And I'm like, no, for $10? Are you kidding me? Like, even back then I knew that was a freaking bad deal, dude. Plus I didn't want to too, because no, I'm a sensitive guy. Like, I was kind of born a bottom, so it's like, for me, this was kind of like a horrible situation in a lot of different respects. It's like, if you were a bottom, they made you top, and if you were a top, they made you bottom. And like, essentially what happened was I refused, and so I just got walloped on. And then they said it again, like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, no. So I refused, and then I got walloped on again. So then I went ahead and watched in horror as the last time they offered it to me, they walloped me really bad, and then they ended up saying, no more chances, it's your fault this happened. And then the dad himself goes over there, and so I'm just kind of like sitting there in horror as the cameras are rolling and the people behind the cameras are like, oh my god, the show has begun. And it's kind of like I blank out. Like, the whole time they're treating us really badly, and they're treating me as like the one responsible for all of it, because I wouldn't, like, you know, go bend homie over there. And so then, like, basically me as a kid, I'm like just trying to pretend like it's not happening, you know? And I didn't really think much of it, but like, it really was the whole like occult, ritualistic style stuff you hear about people talking about. And I didn't really want to believe people until I remembered that happened to me as a kid. And it happened in multiple different times, dude. Like, that was just like one example. Things get crazy because of that situation. At the very end of it, they were like, all right, let me give you $10 to shut up. And I'm like, I don't want to take it. So they wallop me again, and then they're like, okay, you're gonna take it, or else we're gonna tell your parents you did this. And then I took it and was told not to tell my parents. Mind you, my parents are not my real parents. They're just the people who I call my handlers. They're the people I just ended up with. That is still a mystery on how I ended up, but it's kind of giving stolen. Again, I don't really remember where I'm from. I don't know who I am, my real name. I know that at one point a lady showed up to give me an envelope with a passport and some identification information. and I think with like some hidden trust fund stuff, but then like my parents never let me see it. They never let me grab it. And no, I was like 5 years old, and then when I tried to, they smacked it out of my hand. But like, eventually what I'm getting at is on the way home from that whole first Wallace drug situation, and no, it wasn't even the first time. That was the first time that I like was conscious enough to remember it. Like, it's one of the few memories that I like actually am brave enough to retrieve and / also able to, because that's another topic too. And basically, like, bro, I literally was in that car thinking, how in the hell am I ever gonna get away from these people? And I was like, man, I can't emancipate myself. I'm way too young. Like, I know I look big for my age, but people won't believe me that I'm 18 or like even 16 when you can legally emancipate yourself. And I was like trying to come up with a plan. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, well, what if I just lie and pretend this whole time until I am old enough? And so then like the mind games started happening. Like, I originally did this to make things easier for myself, and somehow along the way my handlers knew about it and they used it against me, and now I'm trying to figure out how the heck to stop. But like, I used to think, oh well, what's the best way to get people to believe me? My parents were hounding me about what happened at Wallace Drug, and so I told this whole story that I told myself I believed to my heart, and my mom bought it. And then at the end I was like, I'm just kidding, did you believe me? And she's like, yeah, what the fuck? And so then they didn't really press me after that. I think I passed their test, which was, will he shut up about this? And I passed my own test of, if I can believe something hard enough, then it can be real for me and people will believe me. And so at some point I used to do that only with traumatic things, but then like as the years kept going by, it's like I started to lose my actual self more and more and more, until we're here right now. And I'm like, bro, who even am I? What happened to my memories? What is going on? Like, this shit has literally developed into like a split personality disorder, but I don't like have control anymore. And I think I don't have control anymore because of what these people did to me ritualistically. Like, dude, I shit you not, like, men have been after my pee-pee my whole life for some reason. And at the end of the day, I think the latest one I like fell for was actually someone who did some black magic hoodoo crap on me. And I think I've just been looping, dude. Cause like, I shit you not, like, I have memories of having smashed people that I never actually smashed according to my memories. I have memories, I literally lie down and it feels like someone's jumping my bones 24/7. It's gone to the point where my body is like shaking. I've talked to doctors, I've talked to therapists, and therapists told me to just like not revisit the memories, but like revisit something like how I feel about them. And I'm like, and then also like it just feels like I'm being manhandled my whole day. Like, I can walk near the edge of something and feel like I'm gonna fall down because it feels like someone's literally pulling my body down. And I don't know what they did to me, like on a hoodoo, occulty level. But dude, I've been to bonfires where they were roasting human body parts before. Like, I've been to like that Wallace drug situation I just painted was a mild one. I'm gonna repeat that. That was a mild one. We're not even talking like getting pants pulled by trees or like all these like different Mexican bailes that I've been invited to, that I have flashes of memories of like just everybody GBing me. And so like then we're not even talking about the spy shit either. Like, dude, I got some files on my computer that whoever this other split personality of myself is, or maybe I'm still just lying to myself, or maybe it's like now been made permanent by the people who did hoodoo on me. But like, there's some files that I cannot open that I know contain some crazy ass things. So anyway, I'm here at the beach. I don't know my name. I've been living under the name Mateo, but it's not the real one. I know that for a fact. So anyway, this is just like the first video. I think I'm just gonna upload it with no cuts. Yeah, hopefully this reaches the right people and we start to figure out what's going on, because I know that there's some sort of money involved that was taken from me. I know my identity was stolen. I know that I've been forced to do things I don't want to. Somehow they've got me under some sort of mind control. I know that they put me through some intense double agent training, and I know that they use the whole Jeffrey's circle to control me with it. So like, hopefully we figure things out here soon. This will be my first video, and let's just see what happens, I guess. You know what? That's not enough spunk. You know, I'm just bleak, dude, because I got like $100 left. I kind of was forced to quit my job. The United States has me blacklisted. I'm on multiple watch lists for multiple countries. And I don't even know what the heck is going on, bro. Like, so I guess my last day here in Mexico, while I've been sort of in hiding, figuring out what I'm going to do, I'm going to return to the U.S. maybe. Who the heck knows? And we will see what the heck happens, because yeah, boy over here ain't giving up, you know? I gotta be like at least late 20s, early 30s, maybe even younger, hopefully, but like, it's kind of giving 30s. And I feel like I still got some life to live, you know, if I can get shit under control. And I think that the entire abuse from literally almost every single person I've known from my past, it's time to yell it at the rooftops. Plus also, like, I'm literally not the only one. I was in groups, and this was extending through all of my school and everything. So I hope that this helps other people remember what happened to them too, because I know for a fact a lot of my classmates, like, we were smashing, we were doing all sorts of stuff since like grade school, and I know that none of us really remember it well, but we're all like, why do we have these traumas? So okay, thanks, bye girl.